Well, Brittany, as you can see here behind me, it is still very much an active scene here on Lafayette Street in Pawtucket. Now, I just finished speaking with a Pawtucket police officer who tells me that one person has been shot and taken to the hospital, and they are conscious and alert at this time. 12 News has also confirmed that this is part of an outlaw motorcycle incident. We just heard here behind us, Tom Brady has officially broken the NFL passing yard record, passing Drew Brees. And the poetic justice, he did it at a place he called home for 20 seasons. Now, the biggest story we've seen here today is this foot traffic here by the seawall. We're actually joined by one of those pedestrians, Greg. And Greg, tell me, what are you doing out here?
We came in from Rochester, New York yesterday.
Well, Sheena, I'm here on a pretty busy part of Wickenden Street, a place that's home to a lot of local business. But tonight, it appears one local business is the victim of a random act of violence. Now, I want to show you real quick what you can see here. It appears to be a bullet hole that has shattered this pane of glass. This memorial was erected and dedicated in 2020. And over the weekend, Charlie Masterson says he received a chilling text and walks me through the moment he saw this, the damage left behind. Now, coming up tonight at 5, Masterson is calling for added security measures to this part of the capital city. Absolutely, Chelsea. It's a story we continue to tell here in Providence, that rise of violence in the city, and this scene right here behind me on Huxley Avenue, marking the capital city's 23rd homicide. Now, as you can see, we're roped off right here by police tape, and I'm going to step out of frame so that you can see it right there on the ground where you see those tiny cones. Those are shell casings on the ground. Yeah, Chelsea, I'm loving it. I feel like I'm in heaven here, and look at this. We've got some football favorites. We've got wings. We've got beer. Well, root beer, that is, because we're on the clock. And I am surrounded by Patriots fans. You can see here behind me, it is still a very active scene in New Bedford. And fire trucks are blocking off traffic to Willard Street. The 10 of Hearts. That's Lauren Morris's card. Lauren was just 18 years old when she was murdered back in 1988. And now friends and loved ones are here at the Boulevard Grill and Cigar Lounge hosting a fundraiser. Mike, as you touched on right there, over the past 3 days, I've been tracking that storm damage left behind from those 3 tornadoes. And as I'm standing here in Westerly, you're going to be looking at one of the worst scenes that I've seen thus far.
Well, Alex, I don't know if you can hear him, but downtown Providence is alive with pride. Let me step out of the shot. I want to show you what it looks like down here, just in front of Kennedy Plaza. And this year's theme couldn't be any more fitting after the past 2 years. That theme, together again.
It's been an exciting 24 hours for New England sports fanatics, including for Bob Geiger, who last night watched a 13-inning marathon over at Fenway Park and then woke up this morning and ran a marathon of his own. Alex, that Providence police officer is now on paid leave. I sat down with the alleged victim, Jennifer Rourke, who explained to me the moments leading up to the incident. It's a video that's gone viral overnight, making its rounds to national news sources.
To see it over and over again, it's the anger on his face that really gets to me.
A peaceful protest at the State House turned violent.
There was a verbal altercation, and I jumped in to de-escalate, and it was working. The gentleman was leaving.
You're watching video shot by journalist Bill Bartholomew.
To my right, I saw him go down, and then chaos.
That shows the moment Providence police officer John Lugo allegedly assaulted 29th District Senate candidate, his opponent, Jennifer Rourke.
As I looked to my left, that's when Officer Lugo punched me in my face multiple times. I have never interacted with him, ever. That was my first and hopefully my last interaction with him.
According to Rhode Island State Police, Lugo is facing a charge for simple assault and disorderly conduct as a result. Providence police say Lugo has since been suspended with pay, pending a criminal investigation and administrative review. But after watching that video over again, what are your thoughts?
I'm disappointed. I am extremely angry. I'm sad. And not only because of the decision that came out, but the fact that he resorted to such a violent manner.
Lugo has since said via social media he was ending his campaign for state office. In a statement to 12 News, he said in part, "As an officer that swore to protect and serve our communities, I unfortunately saw myself in a situation that no individual should see themselves in. I stepped in to protect someone that a group of agitators was attacking." Meantime, Rourke says she believes Lugo should not be allowed to return to Providence Police. Police say that he was arraigned and released earlier today and is due back in court next month. Now, Lugo did ask that we keep his family's privacy in mind in the near future. Live in Providence, Matt Paddock, 12 News. Sat down with an expert, the former head of Rhode Island State Police, on why police are on high alert. Concerned warring motorcycle gangs could put innocent bystanders in danger. Flashing police lights drowning the night sky on Lafayette Street in Pawtucket on Saturday, as more than a dozen police cruisers from multiple agencies rushing to the scene of what police are calling a drive-by shooting, which left one 49-year-old victim in critical condition. 12 News has since learned that the shooting is being looked at as part of an outlaw motorcycle incident. According to Pawtucket police, that victim shot a pagan motorcycle club member.
Before, it was the territory dispute between the Hells Angels and the Outlaws. The pagans are raising money in Pawtucket, but having three groups, all rival groups, pushing into the same area. There's a message in there.
According to an internal intelligence document by the Mass State Police obtained by Target 12, a gathering of the Pagan Motorcycle Club was anticipated this weekend to raise money following an ambush in Fall River back in May, something that 12 News law enforcement analyst Stephen O'Donnell calls a recipe for disaster.
Having the pagans in a bigger presence in the state of Rhode Island, having three outlaw motorcycle groups in Rhode Island is a recipe for violence.
According to a release from Pawtucket Police, 2 motorcycle club members were brought to police headquarters last night, one being charged with a weapons violation, the other released without charges. Police say none of the motorcycle members cooperated with investigators, something O'Donnell says is expected.
In organized crime, you're sworn oath omerta. They do the same thing. You cannot cooperate with law enforcement. If you do, you're at least patched out.
While on scene, our cameras capturing the moment police towed this motorcycle. Police even pulling what appears to be a blade from the bike. And O'Donnell reminding us these groups are dangerous.
A criminal organization, that's how they operate. They're involved in sex trafficking, extortion, methamphetamine deliveries, gun trafficking, you name it.
Now, this isn't the first time an organized bike group has made headlines. In 2019, 12 News was there as police raided the Hells Angels headquarters. Live in the Tech Center, Matt Paddock, 12 News. I spoke to those dozens of family, friends, and loved ones today, and they all shared one message: never forget.
It's hard to come here every year.
Hundreds of lights illuminating the West Warwick sky. 19 years to the day since the Station nightclub fire.
People have got to remember just what went on here, all the injustices that went on here.
Those lights, a beacon of hope for families and loved ones still grieving. And a reminder to keep moving forward.
And you just have to keep going.
But through tremendous tragedy comes a silver lining.
How does that feel to know that at least there's other people around to help support you and pick you up when you're down?
I know it's terrible to say, but it's wonderful.
Nick O'Neill was just 18 years old the night of February 20th, 2003. The youngest of the 100 lives lost. 19 years later, his father, Dave Kane, says not a day goes by he doesn't think of his son.
Open our arms and open our hearts. They'll still be with us. They're here tonight. I can feel Nick, as I know so many people can feel their loved ones tonight.
Kane says while the pain never goes away, our loved ones are always with us.
We all have signs. We just have to be open to them, acknowledge them, and embrace them. I mean, we have had Nikki in our lives from the day after the fire.
I have number 333, and that's because it was March 3rd that she was buried in 2003, and I see that number.
A small sign that Linda and the 99 other names and faces engraved at the Station Fire Memorial Park are still by our sides, telling us everything will be all right.
It's taught me a lot, but it's hard to go through. I don't think I wish for anybody to go through this. Anybody.
While stories like these are some of the hardest to tell, Susan Resendi says they must be told so that we can learn from our past to better our future. Live in Warwick, Matt Paddock, 12 News.